welcome to another episode of Cavalier Family Podcast. If you are just joining us from the past previous weeks, I do know that there's been a lot of movie reviews on this podcast. So, we want to thank you guys for continuing to listen and continuing to thank you for your support as well. As well as, follow us on all social platforms because, that's how we get to reach you guys, as well as that's the best way to reach you too. So, hit those like buttons, go to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button as well, because we do try to be a little bit more animated when you see the recording versus on the podcast. So any and everything as far as what you guys do to help us is very grateful. In addition to that, of course, we do have the Cavalier Family store, which you could buy shirts. I think there's some mugs on there as well. There's the tuxedo shirt on there, where it's just the tuxedo shirt, but it's specifically the Cavalier Family tuxedo shirt, as well as t-shirts that are inspired from the previous shows, such as Jurassic Park, and a few other things as well, Ren and Stimpy too. So, there's a lot of things on there that we hope that you guys will like and enjoy too. Mother's Day shirts, Father's Day shirts, which as of right now, if you use the promo code CAVDAD, you will save 35% off on your store purchase. Now, if you actually use it for one shirt, it's not really providing any funding for us, which is perfectly fine. We are okay with that, only because of the fact that we just want our names out there as of right now, because if we get any monetary value, great, fantastic, but as of right now, we just want to spread the word, share the word, because we just want to bring entertainment for you guys, whether if it's this, whether if it's the movie reviews for you, or the new show that would be starting up called Let's Talk About It, which my co-host Ro will be debuting, and I'll be a special guest for a while, and then there'll be two main people. Ro is of course going to be hosting the show that's going to be talking about either the hot topics that's going on for the week, the day, what's happening in the world. So it's more of a day-to-day basis. Again, I know some of you guys may find that as entertainment, which this whole thing is about bringing entertainment to you guys. So would like to thank you for subscribing and watching that show. That show will be based on, first episode will be based about the shooting in Texas. The other topics as well will be about monkeypox and a few other subjects that you guys will just have to wait to see. So I actually set up a different little viewpoint today. As you can tell, I'm probably, if you're watching, you can tell I'm solo today, which is perfectly fine. If you are listening, I am solo today, which is okay, because we do understand that everybody has their daily lives, jobs, stuff like that. And, want to bring you the entertainment, but also understanding when everyone's part of the group, they have their own lives that are going on. So with that in mind, as you already know of the show, we do take a year for a random year. This year will be, of course, 1977. And for every week, what we'll be doing is talking about top 5 movies, top 5 cartoons, top 5 TV shows, as well as the Billboard 100 music as well for that year. So again, every month is a different year and every week is a different subject. Though we do have kind of a flow going on right now, where the first week will always be top TV shows, and the following week will be cartoons, music, and then movies. So with that in mind, of course, this week will be 1977. And we would like to thank, of course, Kevin Holmes, who did the intro and outro, Justin Dye, who created many of the musical elements, Stephen Dawson, who is our researcher as well. And with that, again, let's go ahead and jump back into 1977. Back in time. Welcome back to 1977. Of course, this will be coming from the top TV shows of that year. And if you're looking at me right now through YouTube, it's because I have a separate screen right now that I'm reading off of. So in that way, I don't have to click back and forth and you guys hear the clicking. So it's more easier for you. So the top TV shows actually comes from classictv.com. The information that we gather is from IMDb directly. And that's of course from the fun facts, or the ratings from IMDb, the series as far as the years go. So let's go ahead and jump into our number one, which is Laverne and Shirley. Now, I never actually watched the show. It's before my time, but I'm sure of you that are listening has watched it. If you would like to introduce me to it, or any of the other Cavalier family individuals introduced to it, then we're more than welcome to watch it, to listen to it. Well, not really listen, but watch it, and give our take. But the Laverne and Shirley show, the network that it was on was ABC. The estimated audience gathered about 23 million. It had a 6.9 out of 10 IMDb score. It's basically the misadventures of two single women set in the 50s and 60s. It starred Penny Marshall, Sidney Williams, David Lander, and Eddie Mecca, I believe is his name. One of the fun facts is almost all the scripts for the 1966 Hey Landlord were eventually rewritten to be scripts for the show due to its unsuccess. So that's interesting, right? Going from one show that didn't really do that well to rewriting it for Laverne and Shirley. Shirley's middle name is after her late grandmother, Wilhelmina, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Wilhelmina. I do know that this show was very popular back in the day. Obviously, since it was number one at this point in time. One of the things that you see between back then until now is creativity. And you see a lot of the shows back then were like cutting edge, more risky or risque, as one would say, just because of the fact that it had a little bit more guidelines, kind of like the comic books and the comic book code. So number two, we'll jump into that. That looks to be Happy Days. The network on that was ABC. The estimated audience was altogether was 22.8 million. It had a 7.4 out of 10 IMDb score. Series ran from 1974 to 1985. It was created by Gary Marshall, who's done, which is actually the same individual who did Pretty Woman, Never Been Kissed, A League of Their Own. So really popular movies, very well known, as well as very. They brought in a lot of money. Let's just put it that way. Cult favorites, classics. Never Been Kissed is a classic. If I'm not mistaken, if Drew Barrymore was that one. A League of Their Own. That's Tom Hanks as the coach, all about a women's softball league or baseball league. So that is iconic all on its own, as well as all-star cast for that too. Pretty Woman. Richard Gere and Sandra Bullock, I believe. I always get her and the other one always mixed up. So Julia Roberts, I believe, is the one I always get mixed up all the time with them. So if you guys listen before the show and understand that, I believe it was Julia Roberts instead of Sandra Bullock. See, now look, I'm backpedaling on what I thought it was. So again, I get those two confused all the time. So don't judge me. Okay, you can judge me. That's fine. Especially the fans of Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts. Go ahead. Leave your hatred comments down below. And, how did I get those two mixed up? It's okay. I completely understand. I'm a doofus when it comes to that. Now, it's a show based on with the guidance of a lovable greaser Fonzie. It's about the Cunningham family living in the mid-1950s. Starred Ron Howard, yes, the very well-known director Ron Howard, also the father to Bryce Dallas Howard, as well the actress. You would know her from the Jurassic World series as a redhead. She also directed some of the Mandalorian TV shows as well on Disney Plus. She's a very well-known actress on her own. So that's a fun fact for you guys. Henry Winkler, Marin Ross, Tom Bosley, Scott Baio, and Pat Morita, aka Mr. Miyagi. So yes, that is Mr. Miyagi from the famous the Karate Kid That's it. Sorry, the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, as well as he was in Tremors too. So he was in the first Tremors movie. So some of the fun facts here is through his character, though his character loved them, Henry Winkler actually was terrified of motorcycles. Apparently, through the scenes where he was actually riding, he was actually getting pulled by a truck when he was on a platform. So what they did was they put the motorcycle on a platform and they rolled it out with the truck because apparently he was afraid of them. Did not know that. It's kind of funny. During the height of the show, though, Paramount Studios did receive a call from a teen boy who was contemplating his life. Fortunately, Henry Winkler, aka Fonzie, spoke to the boy and gave him a pep talk about life, convincing him to give it another chance. So that's an amazing story. I wish, there's a lot more of those opportunities for those who are experiencing, that sadness in their life, who's contemplating doing that to themselves. It's a very depressing moment. And I just wish there are more situations where we can save one another, save individuals who are going through that hardship. And just knowing that he was able to do that for that teen boy is absolutely amazing because, life is amazing, though that there are hardships. And though some individuals do go through it a lot harder than others, we're all in this together, right? Let's see here. So number 3, it looks like Three's Company. Network is ABC. The estimated audience for this was 10.6 million. Received 7.5 out of 10. On IMDb scores. Series was from 1976 to 1984. So that's quite interesting. It was the misadventures of 2 women and 1 man living in one apartment and their neighbors. So this has actually been on the list before. I believe it's been on the list like 2 or 3 times. So it's nothing new as far as the top 5s goes, but it's interesting just to know that how many of these TV shows, because the next one is another one that's been on the show before. Just understanding and seeing how these TV shows like this one can just go years and years within the top 5. But it's sad because TV shows can only last a short period of time, right? Unless if it's like news and stuff like that, like the next one, unfortunately, a lot of TV shows, they kind of go down in hype only because of the fact that the stories run out. Unless if you're The Simpsons, Family Guy, stuff like that, where they can do a lot more outrageous stuff and a lot of stuff that they've gotten away with versus TV shows like Three's Company, Friends. Friends was kind of pushing the envelope every once in a while during that time. But as much as How I Met Your Mother, I love that over Friends. So, you guys can leave a comment below. What do you prefer, How I Met Your Mother or Friends? Which one's better? Personally, I believe How I Met Your Mother is a little bit better. Yeah, I can understand where people say it's a ripoff of Friends. I'll be honest though, I was never really a Friends fan that much. I just never got into it. And I know there were going to be comments like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you weren't that good. You weren't a fan of Friends. But really, like I was a teenage boy during that time. So I didn't really have anybody to introduce it to me. Plus my lifestyle, my living style is very conservative in nature, to the point where, I kind of had to sneak away to watch The Simpsons. Now, obviously I watch it all the time. Family Guy. I've shown my mom episodes of Family Guy. She's watched South Park with me every once in a while. Though my dad is a little bit stricter on that subject, which is perfectly fine. I just never got into Friends and never really had anybody introduce it to me. I always had to go to my aunt and uncles to watch like Beavis and Butthead and stuff like that too. So let's see here. It starred John Ritter, Joyce DeWitt, Suzanne Summers, and Don Knotts as well. So there you go. A little bit of Don Knotts there. During the early seasons, the opening credits show Suzanne Summers walking on the beach in a wig, whom causes Jack to fall off his bike. So there's a little fun fact there. The only cast member to appear in every show is actually John Ritter. Didn't know that. Number 4 is, again, going back to one of those shows that's been on this before, is 60 Minutes. Network with CBS. It estimated about 17.7 million viewership. 7.5 out of 10 IMDb. And of course, it started in 1976, but it's still going on till today. Set as a TV news magazine, each episode consists of several stories, which each presented by a different reporter. I won't really go too much into this that much just because of the fact that, we've gone through it already. We've talked about it already. Stars Andrew Rooney as a commentator. Host is Leslie Stahl. Host Stephen Croft. Contributor is Anderson Cooper. Correspondent Dan Rather. Don Hewitt created the show as a TV version of Life magazine. Last time for Andrew Rooney was October 2nd, 2011. Yeah, like we've repeated this information. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information as far as fun fact, though, because it's just like CNN in a way, or Fox, or any of those news TV shows, and it's usually just what it is. It's news. So the last one, though, is Charlie's Angels. Network was ABC. Estimated audience is 17.7 million, 6.7 out of 10 of IMDb. It aired in 1976 and 1981. It's about a detective agency ran by a wealthy, mysterious man named Charlie and assistant John Bosley. His detectives are three beautiful women, Sabrina, Jill, and Kelly. It starred Kate Jackson, Farrah Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith, and David Boyle. John Forsyth, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, was called at the last minute to voice Charlie, as the original actor was cut due to drinking problems. John was called past midnight on Friday, and he did his first recording in his pajamas. You got to give it to him and got to give it to the cast, right? If I could roll out and do just voice recording in pajamas, fine. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind dressing professional, but at the same time, I don't mind working in casual clothes too. Relaxation, the better. Hot coffee, a little bit of pajamas, a little bit of voice acting, you're good to go. Maybe a Twinkie in there every few often, but maybe not a Twinkie. I'm a Cosmic Brownie guy, so. And then let's see, Drew Barrymore owns the screen rights to the series. So that's a little fun fact too, which makes sense. Her, as well as Cameron Diaz and what's her face? I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and look this up for you guys. As far as who was the other actress for the TV show. I feel like her name is let's see, Lucy Liu. Sorry, I don't know why I forgot that name. I don't. Unfortunately, I honestly wish that I did, but sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, right? So it was Lucy Liu, and of course they did a recent adaptation with the girl from Twilight, and a few other actresses as well. Unfortunately, I didn't personally watch it. I believe I watched the first Charlie's Angels with the original, not this original cast, but Lucy Liu, Drew Barrymore, and Cameron Diaz. I don't know. The new one just didn't seem appealing. It just seemed very what movies are doing nowadays to, it just kind of ruins it in a way. But I do know that it starred Kristen Stewart. It also starred the girl from the Power Rangers movie, as well as Aladdin. I forgot her name as far as the actress goes. And it was also created by the people who did Pitch Perfect too. So again, I never watched it, never really had appeal to it, but if you guys did, fantastic. If you liked it, great. If you didn't like it, well, that's okay too. But so that's it, guys. So that's the top 5 TV shows of 1977. There's not much there as far as there are a few episodes or a few series that we've had before, and a few new ones too. Monday, Tuesday are happy days. Wednesday, Thursday are happy days. I know I'm not singing that right, but you know what? That's okay too, because I did watch Happy Days. I enjoyed it. And on all those series, as far as the top 5 goes, Happy Days will probably be my favorite. I don't know. The whole greaser look, I've always liked it when I saw Grease. So there you are. So yeah, that brings it to the close, everyone. Be on the lookout for next week, where we talk about top 5 cartoons. And again, our shop is down below. Click on the link below to go ahead and get the merch. help support us in any imaginable or any fashionable way, as well as follow us on all social platforms as well. We do have a TikTok. I know I said that I wasn't going to get a TikTok for the longest time, but times are change. So kind of have to go where the audience goes, right? So with that in mind, we leave you adieu. Love you guys and have a great day.